everyone, today I want to share 5 tips with you that I think will be able to help you make school a little bit more enjoyable and will make it easier for you to be able to survive, I guess. Now, these are all tips that I have picked up along the way, and that maybe they're things that I didn't do and I wish I had, or they're things that I picked up towards the end of my schooling experience in high school. And this video is going to be directed more towards high school students, but these tips are beneficial to everyone, I believe. Now, and if you see me keep looking down, I have my notes written down for you so I don't lose my track and I don't ramble. But anyway, let's get into it. So the first tip I have for you is to stay organized. And the biggest thing for organization is your time management. You want to be able to keep up with all of your work, but still make time for your extracurricular activities, your friends, your family. You still want to be able to keep a good balance. And the best way to do that is to make a to-do list, or to keep yourself a journal that has when everything's due, when all of your big events are coming up, and to set reminders on your phone or whatever. And when it comes to big projects or deadlines or whatever, give yourself a week advanced, or give yourself a week of leeway time that you will have time to fix any mistakes or go to plan B or whatever. So, because it never fails that you will get a project towards the end of a grading period, and on top of tests and everything, you'll push it back towards the night or two before it's due, and then something will go wrong. Either the printer won't work, or you don't have the materials, or your computer goes dead or whatever. So always expect something bad to happen. That way you can give yourself more time to be able to work through it. My second tip for you is to know your teachers. This is probably one of the biggest ones, I feel, because those are your teachers that you're going to be stuck with, or you're going to have them for a whole year, and you may have them for more than 1 year. So it's always good to know their habits, know how they grade their papers, how they do their tests. If their test is like the material that they teach, or if they give you a study guide, do they give it a week in advance to give you time to study, or do they give it the night before and then the test is your study guide? Or do they just give you a test and you have to fend for yourself? That is the biggest thing that I feel can stress students out, is especially when you're starting the school year, you don't know how your teachers are going to do their notes, do everything like that. But if you pay attention, you can quickly pick up on how they teach and everything like that. And if they're someone who does not really line up with how you learn very well, it's always good to ask them, hey, say, do you have any tutors or whatever that I can go see? Or ask a friend or whatever, and they can maybe explain it to you. So it's always good to just know which teachers are going to need more work than other ones, because some teachers you might be really laid back, really chilled. Their work might be really simple. You can make easy A's. It's just, if you do the work, it just depends on which teachers you have. The next tip I have for you is to study. Give yourself 2 to 3 hours. Now, I know when you hear 2 to 3 hours to study for a test, it seems a little much, and not every test that you have to study for will require that much. But I mean, you'll pick up on which material you don't understand more than others, and which subjects you don't get more than others. And again, this also goes back to knowing your teachers. If like for instance, I didn't have to study for any of my history exams, I just took them. But I had to study for English, and I had to study for science. So you'll pick up on which ones will require more work, and every year it will be different. And because it depends on your teacher. And know which method studies work for you. Whether you have to go back and watch videos on YouTube or whatever that have different people who teach things differently and explain things differently than what your teacher does. Rewrite your notes, take quizzes online, do whatever that works for you to be able to help you study. And again, you'll find that different methods work for different subjects and different teachers. So you'll figure this out as you go. A lot of this is just guesswork, but you'll be able to pick up on it the further along into school you get. My next thing for you is to go to the events that your school hosts. Because for high school, you'll be there for 4 years, and those are 4 years that you'll be with those people only. So going to these events will allow you to build memories and build friendships and stuff that you'll be able to look back on in 20, 30 years and say, when you're telling your grandkids or whatever, or your kids saying, I remember when I went to my prom, or I remember going to this football game and this happening, or pep rallies were like this when I was in school, or my school didn't do this because of this, but you should go to this because of this reason. So it's always good to be able to go to these events. That way you have something to look back on, because 4 years flies by really fast, and you'll want to be able to have something to look back on in the future and say, hey, I remember going to my prom. It wasn't as fun as the movies make it out to be, or the football games were better than movies make them out to be. They weren't as competitive, or I was involved in the math club and it wasn't as nerdy as TV shows make it out to be. So if you go to events or you're in clubs or whatever, you'll be able to again build bonds with those people, and you're building memories that you'll be able to look back on when you go to your class reunions and you tell them about what you did when you were in school. And the last thing I have for you is, know that you have to go. It's just 4 years. And plan ahead, because you'll never know if whatever you decide to do in your future requires you to know what you did in high school. And the best way for you to just want to go to school is just to surround yourself with positive people, because you'll have a better attitude all around because you're surrounded with more positive energy. You're not wasting your energy on drama. You're not wasting your energy on not wanting to be there. And when you don't want to be there, you'll feel more tired. You'll have less energy. You'll have a bad attitude. You'll feel more sleepy. And it's just, surround yourself with positive people, with people who are high-spirited and high energy, because you'll find that you'll being around them, even though you might not be somebody who's very outgoing or very eccentric or whatever, you'll find being around those hot, positive, outgoing, happy people will make you feel better, and it'll make the experience better. And get plenty of sleep, because nothing's worse than having to go to school for 7-8 hours a day and feeling like you're going to fall asleep in every class you go into. And when you're sleepy like that, you'll not focus. You'll miss out on a lot of important material, and it'll just mess you up in the long run, really. So just try to get plenty of sleep. I know sometimes it's hard when you're trying to cram in for a test after you've had practice for the sport or whatever, but just know what your body needs to sleep on to be able to make it through the day without shutting down halfway through. And the last thing I have is to eat. Because you can't focus when you're hungry, and again, it gives you more energy. And a lot of schools will allow you to bring snacks or waters to class. You might not be able to eat in class, but a lot of teachers will allow you to drink as long as it's water. So just stay hydrated and eat. I never ate before I went to school, but I always got a snack or something throughout the day to eat, because I would get hungry or whatever about halfway through. But I could do that. I knew that I would be able to make it through the day like that. But if you are one of those who have to eat a lot, try to take snacks. Try to find a way that you can eat throughout the day, because when your stomach is growling in class, you get distracted and people around you get distracted. So just plan ahead, know how your body is. So there we go. These are my 5 tips that I have for surviving school. And so if you have any tips that you want to join in, or if you have any questions or whatever, just leave them down below. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you soon.